You're doing a little bit too much singing for my liking, sir.
It's a lot right there. They took him out of that nice warm environment.
Are you shy? Are you really?
Are you shy, squiggly line?
I don't know where that's from. You are just... Welcome back to another episode of Jasmine and the Boy! Can we change the YouTube name? Monster.
Anyways.
Baby. Can you picture this campaign? Monster, good enough for babies.
Welcome back to our channel, Living with the Estradas. Not Jasmine and the Boys. Maybe if we add another boy, we'll change it to boys. That's like more boys.
That's a big capital.
Ooh, what if it's a girl and then we can't say boys anymore? Anyways. So we shall be talking about our birth story of this beautiful specimen right here. Because I know I've gotten a lot of questions about, I guess questions that I had to remember. I was like, I don't know what this feels like. I don't know what this is supposed to feel like. Just our experience, because it's hard to describe like what to expect and what not to expect. Everybody's different.
You didn't feel it, or you have some good pain tolerance? Because I thought you were fine.
I was not fine.
You were fine. We were in there for 2 hours. We were in. We were out. What are you looking at?
We shall start
Nothing over there.
with, we'll start I guess with the due date. Pretty sure you already know like that last month of pregnancy you go to your doctor every week. So you're going on a weekly basis just to check if you're dilated or anything like that. I wasn't dilated. I think I was, so my last 2 appointments would have been Friday the 4th, and then I used to have them on Fridays. So Friday the 4th and Friday the 11th were the last 2 appointments before my due date, and then I wasn't gonna go past my due date. So my doctor had said if you don't go into labor on by your due date, then we're just gonna induce you, which I was fine with because from doing my own research, it does not benefit you in any way to go past your due date. It's actually bad for you because of your placenta getting old.
No, that sounds absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. And then they're checking your amniotic fluid and all that stuff to see if it's low or anything like that, because it's obviously if it's low they have to induce you. But the placentas, I don't think that they can check that correctly. Like if it's gonna stop working, it could just stop working. So anyways, that's
Can I hop into a side note? No, we did not keep the placentae. I really wanted to keep the placenta.
I went to my appointment on the 4th, which was a Friday. They did a membrane sweep, which is oh, this is gonna be TMI, just saying. So this is a chance to get out. But well, you already know all this stuff. So the membrane sweep is pretty much where your doctor goes in there, and they pretty much do this motion to try to open and get things going. And a lot of people say it's not painful, but it is painful. Like I almost cried because she was in there. And but a lot of people say that they'll go into labor the next day or that same day. So I was thinking like, oh, like I was telling him 24 to 48 hours. If it works, you're gonna go into labor from 24 to 48 hours. So we were like ready just in case anything happened. But we didn't go into labor.
We didn't go into labor.
So we knew it wasn't gonna work. Yeah, on the 5th, which was Saturday. This is stuff that you guys kind of have to know, but so there's like it's called like a mucus plug, which is blocking everything up there. So it's like literally like,
there's no way it's called that.
Yeah, it's called a mucus plug. Look it up. And it's literally like a clog of like blood that comes out. And so they did mention that if that comes out, it means things are going, but it doesn't assure you that you can go into labor. So I thought, okay, I lost my mucus plug on Saturday the 5th. And I was like, I'm gonna go into labor. Like I already know it, I'm gonna go into labor, and I didn't. And then on the 6th, like I kept bleeding a little bit, but it wasn't too much where I was concerning. It was just like the normal thing. And that's for that.
Where was I with all this?
You were here on the Saturday.
I think I was working.
It was like in the morning, by the way.
Bub.
Anyways.
Okay.
And then when I went to my appointment on the 11th, she checked me again and she said I was pushing like a 1 centimeter. So it wasn't like really progressing. So she did another membrane sweep, which I almost cried again.
I hear you.
It was so painful. And I was like, okay, again, here we go, 24 to 48 hours, and nothing. Nothing happened. Sunday the 13th, which was Mother's Day, that's when I started getting contractions. But it wasn't like painful. Like it was kind of like uncomfortable. Because I remember we were having dinner at Gilbert's house with his mom, and she kept saying, what if you go into labor on Mother's Day? What if you go into labor on Mother's Day?
Side thought here. Should we make a video of those little machines that they put guys on?
Yes.
Because every time I have like an upset stomach and I'm cramping, or it's just like, you know, tight down there, I'm always like, oh, this is definitely what a contraction's like.
And I always just look at him in anger
Yeah,
because he thinks it's such a joke. It's like, no, it is painful.
Why you gotta get so
You could
angry?
not handle, because they could not handle a real contraction, is all I'm saying. And not even like the ones where you're like going into labor.
Don't make me do one of these like wagers again.
Go ahead, because
No.
I would love for him to do one of those like, so that he could really see what it's like, because he thinks it's so funny.
I can't,
Every time he gets like a little pin in his belly, it's like, this is what birth feels like. I'll make it good for you. 15.
15 is good?
Yeah.
We're putting the bar way too low. Do you guys want to see me in pain? I might cry. I can't cry on camera. I can't cry on camera. I'm not gonna cry on camera.
If he can't, okay, if he doesn't do it, then he's not allowed to say this is what labor feels like. Or
15 likes it is, guys.
15 likes.
Rack it up.
So he can put on the machine and get real contractions.
Can we put a deadline to this? Because we can't do 15 likes over the span of a month.
I'll give you a week.
Oh, you're not giving me a week. You're giving the folks
a week. You guys have a week to like this video.
Look,
so that he can go through
if this thing gets 15, yeah.
So
I did this to myself, child.
So anyways, I started getting contractions, and it was like uncomfortable, like to where it was like I would kind of just breathe it in, and I was like, okay, I think like I knew I wasn't going into labor. Like I just knew that it was I was like, okay, this is what I think what it's supposed to feel like. It's just kind of like cramping, like when you get cramps, like when you're on your period, but just a little bit more intense. So anyways, and then so the 14th, so the 13th it was kind of like uncomfortable, and on the 14th I think I was like, I told him, I was like, okay, they're getting worse. And again, I don't know how bad it's supposed to get. I just knew that I was in pain, and so it started getting worse. And so I remember we ended up going to the hospital. So we grabbed our bag, we went to the hospital, and this was what day was it? Monday. On Monday. So Sunday we got through it. Monday went to the hospital like around noon. Yeah, like around noon.
On Monday?
Mhm.
I don't recall. I was working.
We went together.
Carry.
Anyways, and they had it there for I think like, I don't even know, like maybe 3-4 hours, just kind of monitoring. And what made me mad was we were there.
It wasn't the greatest of service. Wasn't good service.
They kept saying, like, so you could see the machine where you could show the contractions. So they kept saying like, yes, you are having contractions very close together, because you're supposed to time them, and then once it's an hour of being timed so close together, then you go to the hospital, which is what we did. I had like an app where I could time my contractions, and I kept telling him, I was like, yeah, we're within that, like, let's go. And we could see them clearly on there, and she was like, I know you're in pain because I can see your contractions. They are coming so close together, but they're not strong enough to where you're dilating. So if you don't dilate, there's nothing that we can do. So I'm in pain, and you're telling me you can't do anything, and you're gonna send me home and to just take a bath. Doctor wasn't there. Okay. So it was some male doctor, and he came in and said, oh, it's because it's your first baby, so you probably just, anything you feel, you're coming in for.
They were definitely going through the motions. And
I was like, first off, like, you're a man, so you have no idea.
Whoa, wow.
What it feels like.
He is a professional physician.
But he doesn't know what it feels like.
Wow.
So
you got me there.
So then he was like, so just go home, take a bath, and try to relax, and you probably won't even go into labor for like another week or so. You might even go past your due date. And I kept telling him, I was like, no, I'm going into labor tonight or tomorrow. Like, I can feel it. And so they sent us home, and I think we got home and I was telling him, I was like, I'm in so much pain. So he went to, I think he went to like Walmart and he got me like the bathing salts.
Did I?
Yeah. So he went to Walmart and went to get like those Epsom salts. And I got in the bath. I was literally in the bath for maybe what, like 10 minutes. And I was in so much pain that I couldn't stay still. And I was like, I can't stay still. So I got up and...
Was I sleeping?
No, we were hanging out here while I was taking a bath. Anyways, we got up, we tried, I think we watched like a movie or something, and I kept moving and moving, and I just felt like I could just feel it all on my back. It was just so much pain. And then we went to bed and I didn't get any sleep. Like I think I kept turning and tossing and turning and tossing and turning. And I was like, okay, because they told me don't come back until it literally takes your breath away. Like you can't even, like you kind of have to stop and kind of hold on to something because that's how painful it is. Which I thought was ridiculous because I was already in so much pain. Telling somebody that's already in pain to wait until you're in more pain and they're not doing anything. It was like, I want to say like 3 in the morning when I got out of bed, and I didn't go back to bed. I literally walked around here, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I think it was like 5 in the morning where I was like in so much pain. But I didn't want to wake him up because I was like, I know we're going to the hospital. Like I know we're going, and I'm having this baby today. And so I had everything pretty much ready. I just wanted him to wake up, but I didn't want to wake him up because I was like, I know he's not going to get any sleep.
Look at that. Look at like, the preciousness. I remember waking up and you just pacing, ready to go. And I was like, what are we doing here? Yeah, it was like, I think it was like 5, and I was like already like, I'm not going to make it. And then it got to like 6. And then finally he woke up like to get ready for work. And I remember I was like, as soon as I was just like, can you just wake up? Like I was just in so much pain. Should have just woke me up, Blair.
And no, because he wouldn't take me seriously because apparently I wasn't screaming. I wasn't screaming, so he thought I was fine.
You're gonna have to cut this out. You're making me look like a turd.
No, I mean,
when did I say I'm not taking?
No, but you kept like in his mind we were gonna go to the hospital, and then we were gonna get sent back, and I don't think he believed it was that intense because I wasn't showing it. I was kind of just telling him we gotta go, like we're going. And it was like calmly, like I wasn't screaming, I wasn't crying.
I probably put out one of those, oh, you're fine.
Yeah, he did. And so,
you were fine.
Well, he was like, so I told him whenever he got up, I was like, we're gonna have to go. I was like, I haven't been able to sleep, like I'm in pain. And he said, easy. And he just started getting ready, but he was so, I don't know, I think it was because I was in so much pain in my mind, he was getting ready in slow-mo. Like he was just taking his time, just like.
I was definitely not rushing.
He was not rushing at all. In my mind, he was not trying to go. And when I say I had to stop at times and hold on to the counter and just kind of try to just breathe, because it was that intense, like it was bad. And then I remember I kept thinking in my head, if he doesn't hurry up, I'm not gonna be able to go down the stairs. We got to the hospital at 8, and they were not rushing. Like I was dying in the emergency room, just like I couldn't stay still. Like I kept trying to like not to cry and just kind of doing this and trying to breathe it in. And finally when they took us back there, like I don't think they were taking us seriously because we had just left the day before, and I didn't progress at all when we were there. So they were kind of like, oh, she's just back and it's gonna be the same thing. Because I remember she was so chill, and then this guy was working on the corner, just like working like whatever. Hey, and I'm dying on the bed. I'm like turning and just like in my mind I'm like, can you just give me the epidural? Like I'm dying. I
didn't have any paternity leave. They didn't have paternity leave there. I had to use my PTO.
And then I remember like she finally checked me and she goes, oh, you're 4 centimeters. And that's when I thought, okay, they're definitely gonna check us in because we were just here yesterday and I didn't progress. So for me to be 4 centimeters overnight, that's a lot. But they didn't. They said, remember what she said? She was like, we're just gonna keep checking you and see if you progress for like an hour or something. And they just left me there. So they didn't care. And I was just like, I don't know how I survived through that hour, but finally they came back in and they checked me again and I was at 5. And that's when they admitted me. Oh, my man let it rip. So our battery died last night when we were trying to film this. So we're just gonna wing it to where we think we left off now that Gilbert's done with hair and makeup. So then after that, I think I still remember this. I don't know why. I guess it's funny because I don't remember much. It was like kind of like a blur because I was in so much pain. Where like, I think as soon as she said how far along I was, that's when this guy was like, okay, it's happening. And kind of like started paying attention to what was going on.
I was working.
All I remember, well, I know you were working, that's what I'm saying.
I was working.
But I think in his mind, he was gonna go to work. Like, we were gonna get sent home and he was gonna go to work.
Yeah.
And so, and I kept thinking like, no, we're gonna stay here. Like, there's no way it hurts this bad. And it hasn't progressed at all. I kept telling him when we're on the way, because I kept holding onto the door and I was just like.
And then I parked really far, as per you. No, did I? No,
No, but you dropped me off at the, dropped me off
By
there.
the way, the monster flavor of the day is gonna be raspberry tea. Delicious.
Monster hit him up so you can start talking about it. So my mom and my sister got there before I actually started even pushing. And then I think they got there. I got to see them for a bit, but by the time that they got there, I had already gotten my epidural, which was so painful because when you wait so long, this, by the way, if you're gonna get an epidural, get it as soon as you can, because if you wait until you're that far, you have to stay super still, so they won't let you move, and they actually have somebody to hold you down. And so when they're holding you down and you can't move, and that's the only way that you can kind of help the pain, by just kind of moving and trying to find a way to kind of get through it and breathe through it. When you can't do that and you're feeling a contraction and they're sticking that huge needle on you, like, it is the most painful thing.
That needle was huge.
I didn't see it.
Huge.
And I was surprised because I've seen a lot of birth stories where they say that they don't let the guys see the needle. They make them leave the room. They didn't make him leave the room.
I think they sensed my cool, calm, collected
I think so, because he was like...
I don't understand what the needle was going to do to me. It's not like it was going to...
All I could think about was, once I get this, I'll kind of get to... Like, the pain will go away because it was so bad. And I just remember, like, the actual nurse that was with me, well, with us, like, the whole time until he was born, she was the sweetest
She
person
was a nice
ever.
lady.
And I think if it would have been for her, it would have been like the worst experience, because my doctor was still not there that day, so she didn't deliver him.
Doc was on vacay.
And I think she was sick. They said she was sick, but
oh, okay, sorry.
the only reason why we stayed there to begin with was because of her, and then she didn't end up delivering him. So she was so nice. And I just remember, like, we kept looking at the screen and she just kept saying, like, oh, you're doing great, like, you're actually progressing really fast, because I didn't get anything. Like, I was literally dilating on my own. And so I just remember she was just like, you're doing great for a first time mom, which I'm pretty sure they tell that to everybody, but but she was like really calm.
I'm
like,
telling you, you went in and then we went out with child.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. But, and then I think, so I just remember we were there, so we got admitted at 11, and then they did the epidural, and then you can still feel contractions, like they're just not painful, but you can still feel the pressure. And I just remember they were like, I think it was like, what, like around 1, when they were like, we're gonna break your water so that we can get it going. And I just remember I was like, oh, I've heard about it, like, you know, how they either put balloons up there or they do certain things to get it going. And I was like, left, and she was gonna go get stuff to break my water, but my water broke when she left the room, remember? She came back in and she was like, okay, and I was like, I think my water broke.
Where
and
was
she
I?
was, you were in there.
Was there water? I just don't.
It's not like it's like a splash of water like you see in the movies. No, it's literally like if you're peeing, like it feels like you're peeing, it's just coming out and you just can't control it. But I remember feeling like just it running down, and I just remember I was like, I think my water broke, because it didn't feel like I was peeing. Like, I knew it was like my water. And she checked me and she was like, yeah, your water broke. So she didn't have to do anything. My water broke on its own. And then from there, that's when things got real, I think. I started pushing at 2. I didn't see it. They ask you if you want like a mirror to look. Like,
I was down there the whole time.
And we had talked about this. I was like, I don't want you to look, because I don't want you to like be traumatized. And that was the plan. He was not gonna look. He was gonna be in there but not look. And then when it all happened, I just didn't think about it. I was just like, I don't care.
Beautiful scene.
If he sees, all I wanted was him to come out.
Odd.
And I was so tired because I hadn't slept for days prior to him being born because I kept getting contractions and I just couldn't get comfortable. Yeah, and then
I was trying to.
Yeah, it was so funny because I didn't even know what you could see. Like, all I felt was, I felt him kept pushing in and out. Like, I could feel it. Because they tell you to push every time you feel the contraction, so you can feel when the contraction's coming, and that's when you're supposed to push. You don't just push. And so I kept falling asleep. I didn't know how long. I just knew it was taking a long time, but I didn't know how long it was actually happening. Like, in my mind, it was just like me falling asleep, waking up, and just hearing him talk about, like, he was just talking to the nurse.
It was so funny. we kept having conversations while, you know, one leg was here, the other leg's here, and we're just having conversations.
Yeah, my legs are up here. There was 3 people because it was him, the nurse, the doctor wasn't there yet. I think because I was a first-time mom, they kept telling me to push, so that by the time the doctor came in, I could just, because you could take hours pushing, so that by the time the doctor would come in, he would just be pretty much catching. So, but then there was somebody that was learning, right? What was she?
It was like a paramedic, first responder person that needed a view, a live birth. They asked us to
they asked us if we were okay with it, and I mean, I didn't really. It was another girl, so it was just kind of like, yeah, sure, why not? And so it was 3 of them just staring down there, having conversations about
what's for dinner tonight.
Yeah, it was just like conversation. It was just so funny because it didn't bother me. It's not like it bothered me, but it was just funny that I could just hear them just talking and talking. I'm over here like dying because I just want this baby to come out. And then so we started pushing at 2, and I don't know, you would have to ask him what he saw because I didn't want to look. And then when his head was coming out, they were like, oh, go ahead and feel it, like your baby's head. And I was like, no, gross. I didn't want to feel it. I didn't want to see it. I just felt like it was gonna freak me out to the point where I wasn't gonna be able to keep pushing. So I was like, I don't want to look. I don't want to see, like, and he was just looking like, oh, okay, I see it. But then apparently he was thinking a whole different thing when he was looking than when it actually came out. So, because you kept saying like you thought that was a whole head.
Yeah, so all you can see obviously is, I mean, the crevice isn't that big. The exit crevice isn't that big, but all I can see was like a ball of hair, which is weird. And I kept thinking like, man, that little thing, that's a tiny head, you know, you'd figure that the head would be bigger. I don't know what to expect, so I was like, that needs to go out. And apparently, once he was pushed out, that was only like a little piece of the head that I was looking at, just a little piece, and then all of a sudden it just goes, Rawr! And then out comes this huge big old noggin, and I was like, okay, this is what I was expecting.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know what to expect, if you're like me and you push for a long time, their head, because you know their skull isn't fully, you know, it's not hard. It's like, you know, squishy. That's why you have to be careful with newborns. So obviously when they come out, if you're pushing and they're like their head comes out like alien shape, and I'll post like pictures and video clips.
So
if his parts aren't showing.
So there was a little crevice of what was showing for like an hour of pushing, and then once it came out,
it was so long. It was like
ovaled,
like an alien kind of head.
And it was odd. We have pictures. I still have pictures.
We have pictures, so I'll insert them. But yeah. I remember that's the one thing that they told him, like, oh, don't forget if your baby's head comes out like all huge. And obviously it goes back to normal after a couple, like an hour or so. But
and then my little angel started crying.
Yeah, I just remember like just pushing and I just kept feeling, I was so tired, and I just kept feeling like she's never gonna come out, because I kept feeling like it was coming out and then it would go back in, because it goes back in, it keeps going in and out, in and out.
It looked really respiratory. It was like, oh nope, oh nope. So it's like
they would get excited, like, oh, like, go ahead, do a big push, but I was pushing as hard as I could, and there wasn't much that you can do. Like you can push as hard as you can, and you're just, hopefully you get a better experience and you get to rest on your epidural or whatever it is you choose to do.
But you were only pushing for like 2 hours. Not even.
But some people do like 5 pushes and their baby's out.
Whoa. Yeah.
you push him out that fast because you can tear really bad. And thankfully I didn't tear because it was such a slow process.
Minimal
like
tearing.
Yeah, it was like very, very, obviously I did get stitches, but it wasn't that bad. And I don't know, he saw everything else. I don't know what he saw after that.
Oh.
But I just remember them saying like he's coming out, like he's actually coming out. And so that's when they told, like that's when the doctor came in pretty much, and I pushed him out. And I just remember they were like, oh, like you can catch your baby. They make you kind of catch your baby so you don't miss that moment. And so I just remember them pulling him up. But I mean, I don't know, I've seen all the birth vlogs and where people like just start crying when they see their baby because they're just
I thought I was gonna cry. I thought we were gonna cry.
I thought so too. I really thought so because obviously like it's a very emotional moment. Like, you know, you're waiting for this baby for so long, and it's like, but it just, I don't know if it was because I was exhausted. I don't know if it was because, I don't know what it was, but like I was just glad he was out. I just remember like they took him and he had I think he had fluid, right? He had fluid.
He had a little bit of fluids.
So I heard him say something about that, and obviously when he comes out, so because he had fluid, they didn't lay him on my chest right when he came out. So they took him, and to me that was like, I freaked out because I was like, what's wrong? And I just remember asking them like so I told him to go with the baby. I was like, go with the baby. And he was kind of like, he didn't know what to do. Like,
I didn't know what to do. Do I console Terry or do I console new birth baby? So then I didn't
care about me. I was like, go with the baby. And I just remember like he was kind of like, and then eventually he went with him. And I just kept asking, you know, the nurses, like, is he okay? Like, because it's not normal. Like, all I've seen is that and I think that's another reason why I didn't cry, because I didn't get that bond. Like, I didn't get that laying on the chest and getting to.
They put you in me.
Yeah, but it wasn't like right when he came out. It was like they took him, and I think that took it away from me because all I felt was like there's something wrong. Like, that's what I kept thinking. Yeah. And so it didn't give me that like moment to actually enjoy that moment of him coming out, getting laid on my chest. Like,
he came out too precious. That was the issue.
So yeah,
Precious.
And then they were like, no, don't worry, he's fine. Like, he's fine, don't worry, because they're trying to get you to calm down. Anyways, by the time that they finally like were done with everything that they were doing to him, and then they brought him to me.
Yep, and that's when I said
Give me daddy's shirt and we'll be good to go.
But by that time, it was like, that moment had kind of gone away. That crying moment that you get, it was gone. So it's kind of more like, he's so tiny. Like, I was just like, he's so tiny.
Very tiny.
And then he was 7 pounds 6 ounces. He was 7 pounds 6 ounces. So he was normal. So they stitch you up while they're cleaning them up. They're stitching you up like minimal. And I don't know how women recover that have like those, like the really bad tears, like the degree 4 and stuff, because I was in pain. We
spent the nights, how many nights? 2 nights?
Yeah, because I think when you're a first time mom, they don't let you go home early. You have to be there because they have to do all their tests and they keep checking you. And in a way, you want to be there the 2 days just because you want to make sure that everything's okay with you, because the amount of bleeding that happens is crazy. So I would just say, for everybody that's wondering like when they should go to the hospital or what contractions feel like, it doesn't matter like how many things you look up. You have to experience it. Like, because I used to read about that, like, what do contractions feel like? What do contractions feel like? Just don't go to the hospital until you can't, like they told me, like until it takes your breath away, because they'll just send you home. And then you have this huge bill because they charge you to go to the emergency room. Huge bill. So yeah, I would just say like just wait. You'll know. I know everybody says you'll know, but you will. Because when I went to the hospital the day that I had him, I was like, yeah, this is nothing like what I had been feeling before. Like, I was in pain, but this is like to the point where I had to breathe, like, and just kind of try to get through it. So that there's any advice you want to give
Do you
the
want to
men?
go into this?
The men.
The men, if you have the opportunity to stick your face in there, do it.
Stick your face in there.
Do it. It is a beautiful moment, isn't it, baby?
Yeah, till this day. Like,
Beautiful.
I remember I was like, do you want to do like a mukbang talking about it? I was like, no, never mind, because you saw everything and I don't want you to get grossed out. And he's like, I don't mind. And I was like, how did you not, like, yeah, it didn't traumatize him. It didn't, like, he still says it was a beautiful moment. It was like, he would have done it all over. Like, all I wanted was to just see him come out. And like, I think all I was worried about was just seeing him come out and seeing what he looked like. Because, you know, you make your ideas of all, like, all these months, like, what they're going to look like, and then they come out, and you're like, oh my God, what are they going to look like? And
we had a little squirrel baby. We had a little squirrel baby. You were so small and skinny, and then you were...
Yeah, they, like,
But he
so...
wasn't.
Which, I mean, we should have known, because my belly wasn't, like...
We're almost done.
Huge. I mean, to me, it was huge, but, like, from what people would say, they were like, no, like, your belly's not big at all. Are you sure he's even, like, growing right? And I would get all those comments. So yeah, don't make those comments to women that are pregnant, whether they're too big or too small. Because then it makes you feel like they think that you're being unhealthy or you're not eating enough because you don't want to gain weight. It's like, no, some people just don't show that way.
Yeah, you didn't splurge on your pregnancy diet.
But I ate a lot.
Yeah, but you ate a lot of good food.
Yeah, but people make it seem like, oh, you're not eating because you don't want to gain weight.
You know, from the man's perspective, it was in and out for me. Unfortunately, I was focused. Okay, it's okay. I was focusing a lot on work at the time, and then.
Yeah, but I mean,
you want another?
unfortunately,
crunchy?
he didn't get to spend a lot of time at home after we got home.
Oh yeah, I only took like 3 days off.
Yeah.
At the time.
So.
Just busy stuff going on, and.
Yeah. So that was a little rough. But,
I had to build for the future.
Yeah, but at night, I mean, at night he helped me a lot with him. Like, he would stay up all night with him. It didn't matter. Like, he was probably like a zombie too, because he didn't get any sleep. Like, if he would wake up whenever you first come home, you can't really get up fast. You can't walk because you're in pain. So he would get up with him and walk him around and do all that because I really couldn't do anything. I really couldn't get out of bed that much.
I had a lot of good bonding moments at 3 in the morning just walking around, and he was loving every second of it.
He still does. Like, if he has to get up in the middle of the night, he still does. So,
oh yeah, you have to be the support. You have to be the glue at that time. You can't do, you can't be mentally weak. Comment, share, like, subscribe. Oh, I got it down. Kinda,
you got it down.
Kinda. No, if you want to see, and then the contraction machine, if you want to see that.
Yeah, 15 likes on this
15
video.
15 likes in a week from the date it was published.
Yeah.
I can't give you guys all freaking.
That way I can get on it, so I can order the machine, because I would love to see him in pain, so
This is
that he stops saying.
I really hope this doesn't happen.
Okay guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.